The coordinate system. After watching this video, I will be able to identify parts of a coordinate plane and plot a point. So the coordinate plane is what is used to graph two linear equations or points that we can use to represent real-world scenarios. The coordinate plane houses multiple points with something known as our ordered pair, which we will talk about in a later slides. It also has an x-axis, which is the horizontal line, and it has the y-axis, which is the vertical line, which creates four different quadrants, which are labeled in our system. And this includes positive numbers as well as negative numbers. So why do we even have this type of system? It's actually very useful to represent everything, especially maps. It's kind of like a longitude/latitude, which is what makes our GPS work and what gives each specific location on Earth a different point. So for example, if we wanted to find Belleville, New Jersey, the latitude has a specific point down to the largest decimal, and the longitude, so this coordinates are specific to Belleville, New Jersey. No other place on Earth will have the same latitude and longitude. So how can we even plot a point? Well, we are dealing with an ordered pair, which means we have x comma y. Your x determines how much you go left or right. So I would start at the origin, and the origin is the dead center where the two axes meet, the 0, 0 point, also known as the origin. And I would read the point by looking at my x-axis at what number it is. That will define the first coordinate. So for example, my green point, we started from the origin and we went down to the number 2, and then we separate that with a comma, and we use our y-axis to determine how much it goes up or down. So let's try and represent our two axes. The horizontal line represents which axis? Well, the horizontal is the red line, and that means it is the x-axis. The vertical line represents which axis? Well, that is the blue line, and that represents the y-axis. So take a minute and try and plot the points on the graph below using your notes, and then press play to see if your answer is correct. So each color represents a different point that was graphed. Notice that the D point, which was the yellow dot, says 5, 0, which means I went to the x-axis first to the number 5, and then I did not have to go up or down since it was 0, so I just stayed right on the axis. This is an important point that we will talk about later, and so is the C point because it was 0, 3, meaning I started at the origin. I did not need to move left or right, so then I just stayed on the axis, but I moved up. Now try and label the points for A, B, C. Pause your video, try and label the points, and then press play. So these would be the coordinates or ordered pairs for the points A, B, C.